Hello, I'm Plumpy from Whatculture.com, and I'm joined by Ben from Whatculture.com. It's time for some news.
Star Wars news today.
Hooray for Star Wars news.
Now, Carrie Fisher.
Yes.
We all miss her.
Very much so.
She died unexpectedly last December, and I think it came out that they weren't going to use any CGI for her in the new film.
8, right?
8, yeah, Star Wars Episode 8, The Last Jedi. And people weren't sure what that meant because we weren't sure if she had finished her filming commitments. According to her brother, Todd Fisher, she did finish her filming commitments.
Okay.
That is done. So she is in Episode 8.
So General Leia is going to, she's got her whole story.
She's going to be, all the scenes she was intended to be in Star Wars Episode 8, she will be in them. I'm not sure what that means in terms of will her character reach a natural end in the film, or will they have to write her out some way in Episode 9, or how that will work. But I do have a quote here from Mr. Todd Fisher, who says, when talking to her daughter, this is who he's referring to in this, both of us were like, yes, how do you take her out of it? And the answer is, don't. She's as much a part of it as anything, and I think her presence now is even more powerful than it was. Like Obi-Wan, when the saber cuts him down, he becomes more powerful. I feel like that's what's happened with Carrie. I think the legacy should continue. I'm not the only part in that equation, but I think the people deserve to have her. She's owned by them.
Okay.
Which is very nice.
That is nice.
So, let's have a little think about the last time we saw General Organa.
Yes.
She lost her husband.
She was incongruously hugging Rey rather than Chewbacca, which even, I believe, J.J. Abrams has admitted, whoops.
Right. Yeah.
Soz about that. But also, like, she's in 8. She's completely in 8.
Yes, as was it originally intended.
But this new story is about her potentially being in 9, right?
Yeah, kind of, in that whatever happens in 8, we don't know if she's going to be killed off or if she's going to just disappear and say, hey, guys, this has been like a whole thing. I'm really tired. I'm going on a space holiday. And then she just doesn't come back. I
mean, she could become a hologram, as is the way. I mean, she's got Jedi blood in her.
Yes.
But like, is the news articles, is the news item suggesting that we are going to see more of General Leia, or because like I think a lot of people are going into Episode 8 expecting her to die,
right?
Just because I think even before Carrie Fisher died, I think people were sort of leaning that way anyway, because they thought, okay, with each film you're sort of going to wean off the old guard.
Right. They weren't expecting any more Organa, for example. But we don't know, is the real answer. I don't think anyone knows concretely, if that's a word, whether or not she will continue to appear in Episode 9, because obviously I think it's safe to assume nothing's been filmed for whatever role she had in Episode 9, if indeed she had one.
I mean, we know that they're not averse to making CGI layers.
No, and it sounds like her family are fully on board with her likeness being used as long as it makes sense. And I think he also said that he had complete faith in the filmmakers to do something special.
I think we're living in an age of filmmaking now, after Rogue One, where the only thing that stands in the way of an actor being in a film, turns out it's not whether they're alive or dead, it's simply whether their estate permits their image to be used. And so the big news story is that as long as they want to keep putting Leia in Star Wars films, her family are cool with that.
Yes, or at least it seems that way for the time being.
So we may be seeing CGI Leia.
We may in Episode 9. That is obviously assuming she gets killed off for whatever reason in Episode, or she doesn't get killed off for whatever reason in Episode 8, but she could still, as you said, appear as a Force ghost in some capacity.
Well, let me ask you something.
Go on.
You are in charge of Episode 8.
Yes.
It's all been filmed. And one of the tentpoles of the franchise, a beloved figure in pop culture, dies.
Yeah.
What do you do?
So I would talk to them first and say, here's the situation, filmed all the bits, are you okay with us carrying on using her? And then, depending on, are you now asking me what, if I would have to tailor the story?
More in terms of storytelling.
Right. So I think if she was intended to be in Episode 9, I would probably find a way to kind of write her off, even if it meant subtle reshoots.
I would probably do something similar in the lines of I think I would I don't know. I think it's really weird. Like, if you look at Fast and the Furious 7,
yeah, that
which had a similar kind of
with Paul Walker,
quandary,
yeah.
they hadn't finished filming, so they did some CGI stuff which was noticeable.
Yes,
but they chose not to kill him off. Because, and then one of the things, like, I spent the entire film waiting for him to die.
Right.
Because I thought that's what they were going to do.
Right.
Big final send-off. Instead, he just kind of lived on and he drove off into the sunset. I think that's what they'll...
That was nice.
I think they probably would do that.
So like the space holiday?
I think you might be looking at Space Holiday.
Is she going to take Chewbacca and go on a space holiday?
I think CGI Leia will probably go with CGI Chewbacca on a space holiday to Space Florida and live out the rest of her days.
That's really nice. I'd like that. Can we have that same song with Charlie Puth? It's been a long day without you, my friend. And then they just fly off in different directions on the Millionaire Falcon. The
Millionaire Falcon just splits in two.
Yeah. Just the cockpit flies off. It was an escape hatch the whole time. You didn't know. But that's great news, I think, ultimately. It's going to be good to see her in the film.
Yeah, I'm just glad that her estate are proud of her legacy in Star Wars, and they want the filmmakers to be able to tell full stories. And I think that's nice. It's nice that they have that freedom.
Yes, agreed. We'll bring you more news, obviously, as it happens with Episode 8, because it's going to be bloody massive. Is it this year?
It is.
Oh, God. It's these Star Wars films. They're rolling around, aren't they?
Gearing up.
But that's great. I kind of like that. It's like the Marvel superhero films. A lot of people are sort of begrudging of them now, but I quite like the fact that there's a new superhero film to look forward to every year. I kind of like it. Anyway, we'll bring you more news on that. I've been Ben from Whatculture.
Yes, you have.
And we'll see you soon.